Time now is 7:37. Now, you'll know this, it has destroyed everything in its path and left thousands homeless, but almost 6 weeks after it first erupted, a volcano in the Canary Islands is still spewing lava.
Now, some villages in La Palma are now unrecognisable and many school children have been cut off from their classrooms. Our correspondent Dan Johnson went to meet some of those.
You can see the damage it's doing and how difficult it is, people there. The images remain, every time you see them, are quite startling, frightening and remarkable.
The power of nature. 19 minutes to 8 is the time. Need to talk to Gavin, find out what's going on in the sport. Morning to you. Busy morning.
Yeah, it really is. Absolutely so. We've got rugby, football and also the cricket as well, because there's a huge match for England today.
I'm looking at my statistics around New Zealand rugby, which, as you well know, are quite extraordinary.
Indeed.
So
But they are beatable. We've seen them beaten before.
They can happen.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Who knows today? May happen. I mean, Wayne Pivac's not too unconfident for sure.
Some kind of drought, isn't it?
Indeed. And just to finish on, England's Bronte Law produced a busy day of sport ahead. Really looking forward to it.
Brilliant seeing Bronte come back.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Isn't it nice? Well, sorry, where was it? Because it's lovely seeing the sunshine, isn't
it? Yeah, Dubai.
Dubai.
Well, there you go.
Lovely, isn't it? That's where England playing cricket later as well.
Someone's going to be enjoying some sunshine. Not sure we're going to be enjoying a lot of sunshine today, but Sarah can tell us. I'm sure there's some on the horizon. Our headlines today. France's president on the international stage.
Boris Johnson said he fears the trade agreement with the EU could have been breached. The row has overshadowed the G20 summit of world leaders, which is happening in Rome. From Rome, here's our political editor, Laura Kunsberg. Defence. Virginia Giuffre says she was sexually abused by him as a teenager.
Prince Andrew has always denied the claims and has now asked a judge to dismiss a civil lawsuit against him. Francis Reid has more.
11 minutes past 8. Those are the main stories this morning. We've got all the sport coming up later and, of course, a look at the weekend weather for you. That's coming up a little later on.
Now, menopause treatment is going to be cheaper across England after the government said it would cut the cost of hormone replacement therapy.
Campaigners had been calling for HRT to be free on the NHS ahead of a Commons debate yesterday. Ministers did not go that far, but said women would only have to pay for the prescription once a year.
The television presenter Davina McCall was one of many at a rally outside Parliament.
The time now is 8:22.
Well, we got a little bit of a weather forecast there for what's happening in Cardiff later from Gabby. Sarah's going to complete the picture for around the UK, but rain certainly is in everyone's pictures. It is 25 minutes past 8. Good morning to you. Now, the Queen has been advised by her doctors to rest for at least the next 2 weeks and will not make any official visits.
Yes, palace officials said she's undertaking light duties and it's her firm intention to be present for Remembrance Sunday, which is on November the 14th. Let's speak now to royal commentator.
It's 8:30. Do you ever wonder, like, how some iconic films can be transferred to stage, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yes.
But it's always like, if you take one of those films that everyone knows, it's always a big undertaking.
Well, what you need is a twist, don't you? So you're seeing something different from possibly what you saw on film.
Absolutely, yes. It's not compare and contrast, just two different things. The reason we're talking about this is we're going to take a deep dive into the newest play to hit London's West End. It's inspired by the making of one of Hollywood's biggest ever films.
Yes, our reporter Matt Gravely stated.
Good morning to you. Time now is 8:33. Now, last year, lockdowns meant that many charities had to rethink how they raised funds, not least the Poppy Appeal, which had to move online. It
is now in its 100th year, and the appeal is back on our streets with a huge team of volunteers.
Welcome news for Vera Parnby, who's raised more than £1 million for the appeal over the last 7 decades. And she joins us now as well with Jenny Sheriff, who's the head of the Poppy.
Thank you, Naga.
Oh,
Vera's so sweet.
she's just won
So
us. She's
sweet.
completely, hasn't Gavin? Morning. Completely won us over, hasn't she?
Absolutely, yeah. What a lovely story, yeah.
And I love her diplomacy about the Christmas pudding.
Yeah,
I love the diplomacy.
let's not talk about it more. We'll get her. She said it very clearly herself.
Very.
It was good.
It was
wasn't it?
fine.
It was good.
It was fine.
There we
It
go.
was absolutely fine.
And she'll be out there selling poppies, which is fantastic.
Indeed
So there's quite a bit going on, isn't there, sport-wise?
Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. Yeah, we've got lots of rugby happening today, football, of course, Premier League being on, and the cricket as well. England against Australia. As rivalries go, it doesn't get much bigger than these two.
So that.
Today because the crowds are back.
Yes.
74,000 we're expecting at the Principality. And I tell you what, on game day, I used to go to a lot of the Wales games. I went to university in Cardiff, and the atmosphere there is incredible.
Go on, describe it. When it kick off.
Yeah, it's just electric. Everyone is just behind the team. Everyone's really buzzing for it. Everyone's had a few drinks as well. But it's just a great atmosphere, and I think the support could maybe tip it in their favour, perhaps. Fingers crossed.
Alan Wynne-Jones there as well.
Oh, yes.
Just,
yeah,
that lifts everything, doesn't it?
Absolutely. What a day for him, set to be the most
capped.
Yeah, most capped player, yeah. Let's crack on with more rugby, though, because Exeter came from...
Yes.
That you don't see. That's the bit. The sports star just before was talking about how hard it is to be an athlete.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's classic example, exactly right.
Get up and try again, over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. Look forward to that in February, the Winter Olympics, all that stuff.
Gavin, thank you very much. It is 14 minutes to 9.
Now, the Environment Agency has launched an investigation after hundreds of dead crabs, lobsters and other sea life washed up on the beaches of Teesside in recent weeks.
Fishermen in the area say they've stopped fishing close to the shore because there's simply not very much to catch. Lee Johnson has more.
Now is 8:49.
Sarah has a look at the weather for us and some information about sleep patterns as well. That got them if you weren't. Oh, wow, that picture's quite dramatic. Is that a sunrise?
That is, yeah, it's gorgeous.
It really is chilly, actually. You wait for it and it builds. It's just menacing.
It does. It works. It takes you right back. Maybe it takes you right back to the first time you saw the Jaws film. If you haven't seen Jaws before, you won't know what we're talking about. But that music is absolutely, it's that film, that music, shark in the water, we need a bigger boat.
All of that.
You know the lines.
Yeah. So, scary, it was, and really difficult to make. And often, you have something so brilliant, so iconic, that you think, well, I'm not absolutely going to, never would we mess with that. But the story behind the film is also rather remarkable.
Yes, let's go to the West End, and Matt Graveling is there for us this morning. Matt, morning to you. So you need to explain for us. So everyone is pretty much familiar with the movie. Good morning. It's Saturday, the 30th of October. Our main story this morning. The French President Emmanuel Macron has raised tensions in the dispute over post-Brexit fishing rights, saying the issue tests Britain's reputation and credibility on the international stage.
Boris Johnson said he fears the trade agreement with the EU could have been breached. The row has overshadowed the G20 summit of world leaders in Rome. From there, here's more from our political editor, Laura Koonsberg. When you get the extra hour, it's when they jump forward, and that's when you never quite trust technology, do you?
No.
Sarah, we've been appreciating greatly, Charlie, especially your Halloween graphics, we have noticed.
Great.
Let's see, it's 9:15 Saturday morning. So it's time to discuss this week's latest coronavirus developments, answering some of your questions. We do this often with our friends and our experts. Saturday panel, virologist Dr. Chris Smith and Professor of Public Health Linda Bold. Very good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Morning.
Chris, did you say good morning?
No.
I did say good morning.
Oh, good. OK, just checking. We're all on board. So let me start. Linda, I'm going to put this... let's see, time now is 9:34 Saturday morning. It has destroyed everything in its path and left thousands homeless. But almost 6 weeks after it first erupted, volcano in the Canary Islands is still spewing lava.
Some villages in La Palma are now unrecognisable. Many school children have been cut off from their classrooms. Our correspondent Dan Johnson has been to meet some of those pupils.
COP26. So COP is Conference of the Parties, which still doesn't tell you much. It's basically where countries get together and they negotiate the rules or they oversee 20,000 people in Glasgow. It's where activists hold those countries to account. It's where companies and cities and all sorts of groups come together and launch new initiatives. It's how the climate community rallies the response every year.
OK, but then there was the Paris Accord, which some people did sign up to and then didn't sign up to.
And then re-signed up to.
And then re-signed up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. How important is that, Miles?
Well, the Paris Accord was the first time hence that if only some countries took action, we'd be able to sort it out. But actually, we need all countries to join in. So that was the huge step forward in Paris. But it did this by being deliberately, and I think Jennifer might want to speak to this, a little bit vague. And that's where the politics comes in. So Paris was designed with, better plans than they were able to make in Paris.
You've used that word vague, haven't you? And Jennifer, pick up on this because, OK, so we hear targets, vague, deadlines, 2060, 2050, when you look at various countries, they're saying, OK, we'll sign up to it, but we're not going to do it for another 40 years. When all we hear with various reports is actions needed now. It was needed 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we hear especially net zero targets are the big ones right now, and that's a vague term.
What can be agreed if physically people aren't there?
I think on the first count,
A survey of where we're at in climate science so that governments can use that as a starting point for negotiations. And it worked very well because it's meant that that governments, so they've all got ownership of it, they all understand what's going on. And so back in the Paris Agreement, when they introduced this 1.5 degrees target, everybody was rather taken aback because at that point...
Gavin has been sitting here with us all morning doing the sport. Has categorically refused to sit next to us. I don't know what's happened. Has something happened?
Something happened. I know you're too polite to tell Charlie this. He's sick of your facts. Too many facts. Too many facts.
I have hair envy. That's what it is.
That's
we were talking about hair removal earlier.
You're safe over there.
Thank you very much, guys. A big day today in terms of sport and a huge match for England.